John chapter 15 has a lot of precious things that the Lord said. These are things that he said not too long before he offered up his life. Just a few days, I believe. In verse 15 of John 15, the Lord said these words, "Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you." A table, as the one that we have come to, but even tables that we have in our homes, are places of fellowship. They are not places of giving and receiving daily orders. They're places of fellowship. We invite those close to us to our tables. We don't invite strangers, at least not as a normal. We normally have those close to us, our friends, those close to us at our table, or we have those who we desire to be close with, who maybe we're not at present, but we have a mutual desire to be close with these people, and so we have them to our table to fellowship and to grow closer. Servanthood is task-oriented. Friendship is fellowship-oriented. Servanthood is limited to doing what you are commanded to do. It doesn't go much beyond that. Friendship is driven by love and desire. So Jesus is obviously in this verse contrasting servants with friends, that they're not the same. Friendship is the more excellent way. When Jesus said things like this, "He that drinks of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst," he was talking about friendship. Friendship with the Lord satisfies. It doesn't leave you looking for something else. That's why he said he shall never thirst. Not meaning that you only drink one time. It's that when you've drank at his table, then you've found what satisfies and you'll just stay at that table. When Jesus talked about leading them, his sheep, leading them in and out and finding pasture, he leads friends in and out. That's who he nourishes, leading them in and out to find pasture. When the scriptures promise that he who believes on him will not be confounded, he who believes on him are friends. And it's friends who are not confounded because they're at Jesus' table. Servanthood can be tedious. It can be a burden. It can make the day seem long when you're just a servant. When you're doing just what you're told to do, just what you're supposed to do, when you just have a set of things that you have to do, that's servanthood. And can be very tedious and can be very burdensome. As the hymn writer said, the hours can be tasteless as a servant. But Jesus says, "I've not called you servants." Jesus said that a servant is only doing what they're told to do, and after that, a servant is to say that we're unprofitable. But I've not called you servants, I've called you friends. Now the Lord created in eternity past an innumerable host of servants that we call angels. They do, and they do much better than you and I. They're servants. So he created servants just by it. If he created them like he did the world, he just created them by his word. He just spoke and they were. And now he speaks and they do. But Jesus, the Lord, is not creating friends. He's redeeming friends. Saul of Tarsus was a servant, but Paul the Apostle was a friend. Big difference. Saul, he said Paul said after he came to the Lord, after the light was revealed to him, he said, I have lived unto this day in all good conscience. Now, that was not just positive thinking.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the truth. Otherwise, Paul would not have said that. I've lived in all good conscience. So even when he was persecuting the church, he was doing it as unto the Lord, because according to his knowledge, this was the right thing to do. But as a servant, he was completely wrong. But as a friend, he was much closer. And he didn't persecute the church anymore, to say the least. So as a servant, he was one of the church's biggest enemies, and as a friend, he was one of the church's biggest ministers. Greatest ministers, I should say. Servants might be called to the house to do something, but friends are invited to the house to sup with him at his table. Quite a different invitation. In fact, servants aren't invited. Servants are bidden. They're commanded. Friends are invited. It was never the purpose of redemption to make men merely servants. This was revealed. John 15:15 is actually found in Hosea as well. When the Lord said through Hosea, Thou shalt no more call me Ishai, but thou shalt call me Baali. Now the word Ishai means Lord or Master, and the word or the name Baali means husband. It's much like what Jesus said. No more call you servants or Lord or Master, although Jesus is Lord. There's no debate about that. Even to his friends, he's Lord. But to his servants, he's not friend. So even back in Hosea's day, in a day of lesser light, the Lord shined this out in this language, that you'll call me husband, not just master. So the people's connection to the Lord was not going to be task-oriented. It was going to be love-oriented. It was going to be a relationship of intimacy and of fellowship, not just servanthood. So, brethren, if you are a friend, then he has made something known to you. He said, I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. You really can't call someone friend that you know nothing about.
That's right.
Friendship encapsulates personal experience and personal knowledge. This is what friends are. Oh, this is what we assume. We communicate this when we say, "Oh, well, he's my friend." What does that communicate? Well, I know him. That's what that communicates.
Amen.
So, if you are friends, then something has been made known to you by Jesus from the Father. Even if we haven't realized it in these words yet, Jesus has made something known to you. Now, is that precious?
Yes, it is. Amen.
Are you looking for more to be made known? Because what he has made known to you up to this point is just first fruits. He has, as he told the apostles, I have many things to say to you that you cannot bear now. He in our own capacity, he has in some way said that to every one of us. I have more things to say to you that you can't bear now. But the Lord, in his gracious way, is leading us along to a point where he can say them to us.
Amen. Amen.
Have you forgotten anything that he has shown you? To be honest, it's not, if you're walking by faith, it's not because you didn't value them. It's only because we're in the body. Things have been forgotten. I've been reminded of things by brethren or just by reading the scripture that I haven't thought about for a long time. And that memory is not, it's not pleasant to think that I could have forgot something that he showed me.
Amen.
But see, this table is a time to remember.
Yes, amen.
So what he makes known to his friends at this table is not known anywhere else. This is the only place where he makes things known to his friends. So as we come to this table, may we all have grace to have open hearts and attentive spirits, because when the Lord talks at this table, it's not thunder. He doesn't talk like the thunder. He talks in a still small voice. And so you have to have ears to hear when you come to this table. So may we be attentive tonight that he only meets with friends around this table.